Lawn Cemetery here above Belfast, and this is the final resting place of Tommy Patton. Tommy Patton is a legend in these parts, prominent councillor, and he's commemorated here as Thomas W.S. Patton OBE, known as Tommy, and he died 20th October 1993. He worked in the shipyard for many years, and then he was also involved in local politics, and then he became the High Sheriff of Belfast, and then he did a spell for a year as the Lord Mayor of Belfast. And that was in the days when they used to put two big lampposts outside the home of the first citizen, in other words, the Lord Mayor. So Tommy Patton at that stage, he was brought up in the Saving Street in the Sydenham area, but when he was the mayor, he lived just round the corner from the Saving Street in Park Avenue. So there's a photograph of the two lamps outside Tommy Patton's relatively humble house in Park Avenue. But Tommy Patton, he was known for his malapropisms as well, for his unfortunate habit of mispronouncing words and phrases. So amongst his malapropisms, he commented that when during his term at the City Hall, that it was a little bit shabby looking. Commented that it could do with a fresh coat of Durex. He didn't mean Durex, of course, and he meant Dulux. And also then he walked in late, apparently, to a parks meeting, and they were talking about the Floral Hall up above the zoo, neighbouring onto the zoo. So Floral Hall is a famous place in Belfast where a lot of older people would have met at dances back in the day. But this is during the 1980s, I think it was, when they were trying to talk about restoring it. And there's a little boating lake out the front. He walked in late to this meeting, thought they were talking about the zoo, and they were talking about getting a gondola, because he thought they were talking about the zoo. He said, well, why don't we get a couple of them and we can breed them? So that was Tommy Patton. Also, there was an Albanian football team visited Belfast, and there was a civic reception at the City Hall, and the translator was translating away when the chief executive of the council was speaking. But then when the Lord Mayor, Tommy Patton, got up to speak, apparently she just shrugged her shoulders and sat down. She couldn't understand the word he was saying. So that's Tommy Patton. He also said that the RUC weren't much of a detergent for the IRA, which she meant deterrent. And after his passing then, in 1993, there was a park named after him. So the Tommy Patton Park is off the Hollywood Road, in other words, not far from where he was brought up. So again, Tommy Patton, a legend in these parts, an Ulster Unionist politician who became the Mayor of Belfast and is remembered now with a play park close to where he was brought up in East Belfast.